Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. We are live. Welcome to our first actual live streamed event as part of the Crick Institute's summer program of online family events. Great to have you here. My name is Greg Foote. I'm a science broadcaster on BBC TV and radio, a podcaster and a YouTuber as well. And it's an absolute pleasure to be doing this for the Crick this morning. So today we are going to be exploring and exercising our brains with Jasmine, a scientist from the Crick Institute. So you'll find the Crick in London, in the UK. It's a place where lots and lots of science research is done. It's packed with scientists who are working every single day to find answers about how the body works and also what happens in our body when we get sick. Hello to everyone who's watching us live. I can see there's lots of you watching us live on YouTube and Facebook. Good morning, good morning. If you are watching live, just to say, you will not be on screen. Okay, it's just myself and Jasmine who will be on the screen this morning. If you are watching live, there's a live chat. We'll have a play with that in a minute. You can send in comments or questions at any time to Jasmine. So let's dive in, right? Oh, also, hello if you're watching back later. I know lots of you are watching this back. So let's meet today's Crick scientists. So let's meet Jasmine Harley, a PhD student in the Botany Lab, who's going to take us on a journey through the brain. Hello, Jasmine.
Hello, hi, nice to meet you all.
Morning,
hi
morning.
everyone watching, good morning. I am live from the Crick Institute itself.
So I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. There's going to be lots of activities. There's going to be lots of challenges for that you're going to take us through to explore the brain. But let's start, Jasmine, if we can, with 4 fun facts about the brain. Right. Okay. Before we do that, let's just check the live chat's working. If anyone's in the live chat, let's start with an easy question. What did you have for breakfast? Right. If you're in the live chat and you're on YouTube, you can just type your answer into the live chat. If you're watching on Facebook, you can put it as a comment. Also, if you're watching on Facebook and you know other people who might enjoy this, tag them as well and click share. We'll get more people come and join the fun this morning. What did you have for breakfast? Oh, I can see the comments already coming in thick and fast. We'll have a look at them in a second. Jasmine, over to you then. Let's dive in. 4 fun facts about the brain.
Okay, so how big do you think your brain actually is? Do we think it fits in our skull? Is it this big? Or is it this big? Or is it even smaller, this big? So if everyone puts their fists together like this, that is actually how big your brain is inside your skull.
Huh.
So that's cool. And then
that means our brain grows as we grow, right? Because our fists will get bigger.
Yes, that's true. So our brain continues to grow as we grow. So it gets that big. And it's a myth that we only use 10% of our brains. So we actually use all of our brains. So there's some myth busting for you as well to start the morning. We like that.
Lots of people will have heard that, won't they? You only use 10% of your brain. If only you could use more. Right, well, that's rubbish. We've got rid of that one already. Okay, so that was fact number 1 and technically fact number 2.
Yeah, that's okay. So fact number 3 is that in our brain, the signals communicate by electricity. So if we were to rewire all of the electricity in our brain, we could light a light bulb.
Wow.
So, yeah. And also somebody's done a calculation to figure out how long it would take to charge an iPhone if we rewired all the electricity from our brain. How long do you think it would take, Greg, to charge an iPhone? And people at home, what do you think? How long do you think it would take to charge an iPhone?
That's got to be a couple of days. If not more, like a week.
A week? So it would actually only take 68 hours to charge your iPhone. But 2
and a bit days.
Yeah. So yeah. A long time. So I wouldn't recommend doing that because we obviously need our brains to do a lot of other more important things than charge our iPhone.
Yeah, we need that electricity to actually be making the neurons fire rather than giving your phone more juice. Yeah. Is it true, I've heard it, that your brain weighs about the same as a bag of flour or a bag of sugar? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So the average human brain weighs about 3 pounds, which is 1.3 kilos. So a bag and a bit of sugar. And if we were to compare that to an elephant's brain weighs 6 kilos. So that would be 6 bags of sugar.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's different.
Okay, right. So we now know that our brain is the same size as our two fists put together like that. So it fits inside our skull. We know it uses electricity, and that it would take about 60 hours, 2 and a bit days to charge an iPhone, and that we don't use 10% of our brain, we use all of it, and that it weighs about the same as a bag of sugar. That's a good start. Any more facts? Or should we
so the information in our brain travels faster than the fastest land animal, so faster than a cheetah. Wow. The information in our brain travels faster than a Lamborghini, and it also even travels faster than a helicopter. So it travels at 268 miles per hour. So as we're thinking now, that information's whizzing around that fast.
That's incredible, isn't it? That is super cool. I mean, bodies always amaze me. Our brain especially, that soft squishy stuff and the electricity running through it allows us to, well, as we're going to discover today, do almost everything. I believe you have a model of a brain there that you, or a brain hat. Can you introduce us to it?
Here is my brain hat. This is something that I made earlier. So I think if you've managed to make one of these, then great. If not, there is instructions on how to make this in the video description as well. So you can make your own brain hat at home. And this has got all the different areas of the brain, and I can put it on like this. It's a little bit small for me, so I've got a big head, but it just about fits on like this. So you can make this and wear it at home. And if you don't have a printer, then you can use loads of other stuff as well. So you can use a swimming cap. I'm actually going swimming later, so I have my swimming cap with me. You can use a helmet. I cycle to work. So loads of things you can use, and you could put Post-it notes to make your own brain hat. Have you got anything at home, Greg, that you can use?
I really like the Post-it note idea. I was wondering if you could take a washing up bowl and just put a washing up bowl upside down. Okay, it'd be a bit big, and make sure it's reasonably dry, and then stick your Post-its to that. I think that's a great idea. Why
not? Whatever you can find.
All right, fantastic. So let's start working our way through these different areas of the brain. And I know that you've got like a challenge, a game for all of myself and everyone watching to kind of take us through and explore what each of these areas of the brain does. Where are we going to start?
Okay, so we're going to start at the front. Makes sense, doesn't it? So if everyone gets their two hands and puts them on their forehead like this. Oh.
Yep.
And then this is where your frontal lobe lies here. So that's it. That's great. So I asked you, or Greg asked you, to answer the question, what did you have for breakfast? So Greg, what did you have for breakfast? And can you tell me what some of the comments are coming in as well?
Yes. So I had yogurt and cereal, like muesli. Okay. And there's a blackberry bush that's kind of going crazy in the back garden. So I went and grabbed loads of blackberries. So that was my breakfast, which was rather yummy. Nice. Let's have a look. So we've got comments on YouTube saying, had toast for breakfast. Jenny and team had hummus, boiled egg and cucumber for breakfast.
Wow.
Lots of votes for Weetabix.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, fruit, cornflakes and a chocolate croissant. Oh, good treat. Hang on. Right. Jasmine, someone says here they had strawberry clotted cream on scones for breakfast.
Jealous.
I'm so jealous. That's amazing. Rebecca, age 4, had croissant and apple. Lewis and Owen in Cambridge, they had pancakes with chocolate spread.
Oh, everyone's breakfast is so much better than mine.
You can tell it's summer holiday, can't you? Because everyone's treating themselves to some lovely, lovely breakfast. Lots of fruit and yogurt. Peanut butter and banana sandwich. I could go on for a very long time.
That's great. So I'll tell you something. The way that you decided what to have for breakfast this morning, that was your frontal lobe that did that for you. So when you got out of bed and made that decision, it was your frontal lobe that decided that. So that's what your frontal lobe is involved in. It's involved in loads of things. So decision making, planning as well. So if you're going to plan what you're going to have for breakfast tomorrow, planning. Also who you are, your personality, how you feel, your emotions, your attention. So you can see it's involved in lots of things. But we are going to test out your frontal lobe because it's also involved in problem solving and memory.
Ooh,
so I've got a problem for you. So we're going to say frontal lobe. Are you ready?
I'm going to warm up the frontal lobe.
Give it a massage. Get it.
I'm ready.
Okay. So can we have the game up, please? Okay. So These are all items that I have got from the lab. So as a scientist, I use a variety of different items in my day. And we can see them on the screen here. So we've got a lab notebook to write down experiments. We've got a lab coat for safety. We've got some gloves for safety. We have a squishy brain just for fun. Some test tubes here that you can see. We have a calculator, a measuring cylinder to measure liquid, a flask to mix things together, a strange thing here, which is called a pipette, and that's for moving small liquids around, and then a pen and a pencil. Okay, so here's the game. You've seen all my items that I use on a day-to-day, and I'm going to take one item away, okay? And you've got to tell me, let me know in the chat box, and Greg, you as well, which item I have taken away. So are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Okay.
Let us know in the live chat. If you're watching back later, yell it out. It's a big, colourful one as well. So, right, should we tell him in 3,
3, 2, 1.
It's the gloves.
It was gloves.
It's the gloves.
Did you notice that the gloves were missing? Well done.
Lots of people saying gloves. Jacqueline and team, Kerry and team, Sarah, Michelle, Chrissy. Yeah, the live chat is going crazy with gloves right now. They got that one.
Okay, so next round. Are you ready? I'm going to take one of the items away.
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1. Okay, which one is it? Which item is missing?
Alice got that last one right. Bella got that last one right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Greg?
I think it's the book in the top left.
Yeah, it's the lab book where I write all my experiments. Nice one. So well done if you got that right at home as well. So we're going to make it a little bit more difficult. So here we see...
You got an email.
I did get an email, yes. So here we see all the items are in a particular order. Now I'm going to mix up the order and I am going to take an item away. Okay, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay. All right, you lot watching live. This is trickier. What has gone? Let us know in the live chat. This is trickier, isn't it, Jasmine? Because you've got to go through that list in your head. Oh, hang on. Oh, no. It's not. I thought I got it, but I haven't.
Look carefully. Look at all the items. What do you think?
Oh, goodness. Oh, yes.
Have you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Do you want to tell us what it is?
Well, let's have a look at the live chat. Some people say, yeah, you know, you lot are clever watching this on the live chat. Loads of people saying the laptop has gone, the computer has disappeared.
That is correct. It was the laptop that was missing. So well done if you got this. Okay, now we're going to make it even harder.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to distract our brains from what we've just seen by counting back from 20 in twos. So we're going to go 20, 18, and we're going to do it together. Okay, so we've got a blank screen while we do this. Okay, should we do it together, Greg?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, 20,
18, 16, 14, 12, 10,
8,
6, 4, 2, 0.
Okay, which item is missing?
Got it.
What do you think? Got it. What about you guys watching at home? Let us know what you think it is. We tried to distract our brains there a little bit, but you might be
just
too...
while they're working it out, well done to Oliver and Lily and James and Alice and so many people who got the previous one right. Put your name in the live chat when you do it, just so we know who's watching. Oh, we've got a few coming through. Ooh. Yes. Lots of people have worked out that it is. Shall we reveal it, Jasmine?
Yes, it is the... Oh,
hello.
Okay, it's all gone Pete Tong. It's the pencil.
It was the pencil. So Arthur, Bella, Maxwell, Zeke. Zeke said red pen. You know what? That could also be a red pen. It's the pencil.
Yeah, you can see it.
So many people. Gosh, brilliant. Awesome.
Nice one, guys. So our frontal lobe should be all nice and warm now.
Feels it.
And we're going to, sorry, I forgot to show you here on my lovely little brain cap. So now we're moving through the frontal lobe into an area of the frontal lobe called the motor cortex. So before we did this, the motor cortex is now 2 fingers at the top of your head. So everyone can do that at home. 2 fingers at the top of your head there. That's it. So we have located our motor cortex.
Motor cortex. All right. So how are we going to discover what the motor cortex does? So
give us a wave, everyone. Give us a wave. Nice. So your motor cortex is at work. There it is. Woo! Well done, motor cortex. So as we wave with our right hand, is that my right hand? Yes, my right hand. My left side of the brain is telling my right hand to move. So it's opposites. So now, if
it always amuses me, that idea.
Yeah.
Also, we should say for everybody that it's a bit weird watching us on the screen, because actually what is our right looks like our left. So the camera flips it as well. So that's going to blow everyone's brain. But yes, so the right-hand side of your brain controls things on the left-hand side of your body.
Yes, that is correct.
If I ask you the question of why, is there an answer to that?
I am not sure if there is. I do not know, but I can find out, I'm sure.
Strange thing. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, a lot of things are mirrored in the brain as well. So it's like flipped round. Okay, so I am particularly interested in this area of the brain because I work on a disease called motor neuron disease, or MND, which is a disease that affects this area of the brain called the motor cortex, and also your spinal cord, which is a thing that runs down the back of your spine and communicates to your muscles to move. And in this disease, the cells in these areas called motor neurons, they stop working properly. And kind of this is where my job comes in. So I'm like a detective. I investigate what is going wrong in these cells, and I try and find out what's happening and how I can stop it from happening and make the people better. So that's what I do. So if you've got any questions about my research as well, and how I study these human motor neurons, so it's pretty cool because I grow these human motor neurons in the lab upstairs. So I've got some growing upstairs right now.
Wow.
So if you've got any questions about that as well, or just what it's like to be a scientist, then let me know in the chat box and we can answer them at the end.
Perfect. Yeah, do keep those coming in the live chat. Okay, so that's the motor cortex.
Motor cortex. So are we ready to get our motor cortex firing?
Oh, yeah.
Motor cortex, are you ready? Okay, I need everyone to get up, and
if you can get up, please do.
If not, then just stay seated. So if you can get up, and we're going to do 10 star jumps. If you can't get up, I want you to wave wildly at the screen for me for the time. Okay, so I'm going to join in with the star jumps as well. I think you might miss my head. I'm going to get progressively quicker as we go through. Okay. Are you ready? Is everyone ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, has everyone done it?
And a bonus one. Whew.
Oh, the lights just came on.
Oh, lost my laptop.
Okay, great.
Oh, so was that our motor cortex involved in doing those star jumps?
Yeah, that was our motor cortex that was sending the messages to our muscles to tell us to move our muscles to jump. So that would have been all of our motor cortex then, because we moved our arms, our legs, our left side of the body, our right side of the body.
So anytime we're moving a part of our body, that is being controlled by this bit here, called your motor cortex. And anytime you move something on the right-hand side, it's this left bit of the motor cortex. And anything on the left is this right bit of the motor cortex.
Perfect, you got it.
Sweet. Okay, all right. Amazing. All right, let's see if we've got any questions coming in. Okay, we've got a question which says, how do you grow cells in the lab?
Okay, so in the lab, I start with people's skin cells. And what we do, we start with their skin cells and we turn them into stem cells, which can make any cell in the body. And then we make these into the motor neurons, and we keep them in a dish that looks like this. I've got one here. Can you see? I've got pictures of my cells inside them, actually.
Oh, so they're just pictures.
They're not real cells, because if they were real cells, you wouldn't be able to see them, because you need a special kind of camera called a microscope to look at them, because they're so small. So I keep them in those that dish in like a sweet and salty liquid to help them grow, and that has all the nutrients they need to grow and to live.
Wow. So whenever I eat sweet and salty popcorn now, I'm going to think, oh, this is similar to the stuff that Jasmine uses to grow brain cells.
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
One more question, Jasmine, from the live chat. Alan wants to know how you know which side of the brain or which part of the brain is doing what. Like, how do you actually get a sense of what is doing what when you move, etc.?
So there's been a lot of studies into what part of the brain does what. One example of the study is they find out what happens when that area of the brain is damaged. So if one area of the brain is damaged, that can kind of tell a story of what the role of that part of the brain was. For example, there was a guy a long time ago. He's quite famous. He's called Phineas Gage, a railway worker. And what happened was there was a big explosion, and a pipe, a metal pipe, went through his eye and up out of the other top part of his brain, which damaged part of his frontal lobe. And he survived, amazingly.
Wow.
Which was incredible. But he completely changed. His personality changed, and he became a completely different person. So then they found out that your frontal lobe was involved in personality.
Gosh, that's amazing. Right. So through injury or through something happening, you can tell which part of the brain's been affected, and then that helps you work out what's happening. Yeah. And also there's ways to actually kind of see on someone's brain what's lighting up. There's like imagery you can do, and you can make someone do different things. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that's a special type of camera, again, that looks at the activity in the brain. So you put people under a camera and you ask them to do certain activities, and then different parts of the brain would fire up and light up. So then you can look at what area of the brain matches what activity.
Cool. Just to let you know as well that we've had some people going, what an amazing job Jasmine has, which is kind of cool. And one question before we move on to the next part of the brain. Someone said, let me see if I can find out who it was. Hesnup said, how do you know all of this?
Well, you go to university for a long time, and I'm still a student, so maybe try and be a student for as long as possible.
You have to study, you have to read, you have to watch.
Yeah.
All right, so take us to the next area of the brain.
Okay, so if I get my trusty brain cap out, the next area of the brain is your parietal lobe, which is here, which is just at the back, if you can see. So if everyone puts their hands on their heads, here at the back like this, you have now got your hands over your parietal lobe.
Okay.
Great. A little bit higher, Greg, than that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. You've got it.
Okay. Got it. All right. Hello, parietal lobe. And what's this lobe doing?
Okay, so this is involved in loads of important functions, but what we're going to focus on today is touch. So this area of the brain is involved in processing how we feel things and touch things. So when we touch something, so I'm touching my laptop right now, the information is going from my fingers all the way up my arms into my ding, ding, ding parietal lobe. And that's where it's processing the information.
So if I touch this pen,
that's
little, almost like sensors picking up what's happening here. Yeah. And it uses that electricity that you talked about at the start, shoots right up to my brain, faster than a cheetah, you said, right? Faster than any land animal.
Yeah.
Straight to that bit at the back, the parietal lobe.
That's it. And that figures out what's going on and what you're touching.
All right, so that's where all that kind of processing is happening, and it goes, okay, or like if I drink some water, it's my tongue and whatever, it sends a signal up and it goes, oh, okay, so it's cold and it's wet. Yeah. And your brain, the parietal lobe, is what figures out what that actually is.
Yes, exactly. So
all these bits are very important, aren't they? Super important.
Yeah, so let's see. Parietal lobe, are you ready? let's see if we can stimulate it. Hello, are you ready? So first of all, let's put our hands on the back of our neck. Yeah, how does that feel? Write in the chat box after you've given it a good feel. What do you think, Greg? What does yours feel like?
Warm.
Yes, warm.
Feels like it needs a massage.
Nice. So our sensors can also tell if something's hot or cold, and if we're in pain or if there's too much pressure as well. So it's not just touch. So mine's very warm. It's a little bit sweaty as well, actually.
It's fine. So fine.
Okay, nice. The next thing, let's see what we can touch. Our ears. Why not? Do they feel different to your neck?
They don't feel as warm, and they definitely feel a lot more wobbly.
Yeah, they're wobbly. And if you feel different parts of your ears, you can feel they feel different as well. So mine at the bottom are really floppy and soft.
Yeah.
And then at the top, they get a bit bony, but they're still bendy.
Yeah. And all of that is being figured out by our sense of touch being processed. Oh, I love this. Lex and Thea say rubbery.
Rubbery.
So right.
Yeah.
They do feel a bit rubbery, don't they?
Nice. And then finally, let's hope everyone's wearing clothes. Let's touch our clothes. How does that feel?
Rougher.
Yeah. So you might be wearing a really furry jumper. That might feel furry and soft.
On a day like today, you're going to be very warm. Very
Or you might be wearing leather, and that would feel smooth and cool. So have a feel and let me know in the chat box how your clothes feel and what you're wearing today.
Lots of people saying stretchy and floppy for their ears and warm like a bath. I love these descriptive words everyone's coming up with. Can I throw you a couple of extra questions from the chat box?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so here's a nice one. This one is from Ina, who's watching from Tokyo, who says, why do we dream? And I'm going to throw in another one as well, which is from Trina, who says, why do we have thoughts? Okay.
So these are very big questions for scientists. I won't be able to answer these questions, but there's so much research going on at the moment into why we dream and why we have thoughts. And a lot of the work is happening through that imaging that I spoke about earlier, where people either sleep in these special cameras and they can tell which part of the brain is activated. So these are two big questions for me.
Oh, they're not just big questions, they're humongous questions. This idea about how do we have thoughts, we call that consciousness. How do we know that we're thinking, right? Is a humongous question. It's a question for science, but we also say it's a question for philosophy. It's a question for just thinking about thinking. So it's such an interesting thing, but we better push on because we've only got 10 or 15 minutes left and we've got a few more areas of the brain we want to get into. So what's next?
Okay, next, if we put our hands right at the back of our heads now, spin around on a spinny chair, so about here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have put my brain cap on here. That's it, here at the back. Basically, this is called your occipital lobe, and this does all things vision. So when we see something, the light enters our eyes and the information is sent to our occipital lobe to work out what we're seeing.
Right, okay. This is fascinating because we're going through all these little bits and then finding out exactly where it is. Okay, so the bit right at the back is to do with what we're seeing. And I think we've got a fun challenge or game to try this one.
Yes, we have. So let's see, occipital lobe, are you ready? Okay.
Ready.
Are we ready?
Ready.
Can I get my screen up? Okay. So this is a game that we're going to play. And what I want you to do, this is round one of the game. I want you to read out what the word says. So this one would be red. Okay. So I'm going to go through them. And Are you ready? Are we ready at home? Okay, let's go. Red.
Yellow. Pink, blue, orange, blue, green, black.
Okay, great. Nice. Well done. Okay. This is round 2. Okay. Now you have to say what colour is the word. So this one would be yellow.
Yeah. So although it says the word green, we're not thinking about what it says. We're just doing what the colour is. Okay. So yellow.
Yeah. So yellow. Okay. So let's see.
Red.
Yeah.
Green. Blue. Black. Takes time, doesn't it? Green.
Yeah.
Red. Purple.
Yeah.
Grey. Yellow.
Nice. So how did you find that? Which round did you find harder? Let me know. Was it harder to read
I
words?
think I found saying the colours more difficult than reading the word.
Yeah,
What does it
definitely.
mean, Jasmine? What does it mean?
Okay, so that's one way to get our occipital lobe fired up. We can also trick our occipital lobe by some optical illusions.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Ooh. Okay, so everyone stare at the screen. Are these lines here that we can see, are they straight or are they curved? The horizontal lines that we're looking at. What do you think at home?
I mean, they look very curved to me.
Yeah, they
I
look.
don't know what you're going to say, but they definitely look curved.
So they curve off at the end for me as well.
Yeah.
So in this optical illusion, the lines are actually straight.
Going to put my pen against it just to check. Hey, you're right.
Are they straight? You can get a ruler out if you don't believe me. So these lines are straight. And the different dark and light squares fool us into thinking and fool our occipital lobe into thinking that the lines are actually curved.
Wow.
Okay. So
and the brain is amazing. Jasmine, just to say that lots of people were also finding round 2 harder of the Stroop test. Someone also said, "Oh, this is the Stroop test. Well done." Well done.
Yes,
yeah.
it's the Stroop test.
So lots of people also finding that was much, much harder. And lots of people say, well, look at you, clever clogs. Lots of people being like, those lines are curved. They're definitely curved. But then some people are like, they're straight. They're straight. Because you know this one. But don't they look? And actually, as I move my eyes along it, they actually move and change as well. Weird. Sorry, Jasmine, over to you.
No, okay. So next one. This one is an image, and what we all have to do is get close and stare at the screen. So you've got to stare at the screen as intensely as you can. You can't blink. And tell me what happens.
It's done really blurry.
So it is a blurred image, but does anything happen? What about people at home? You need to stare at it. Don't stare at anything else.
It's really small on my screen because I've got lots of things on my screen.
Okay, so what happens to me, it might happen to you at home. Let me know. I don't know if you've managed to do anything with that, Greg.
Oh, it's getting more detail, like as I look at it.
No, completely the opposite. So actually, if you stare at this image, what happens is the colour that you see dissolves away and the whole screen should turn grey. So that's what happens to me, and it's because you're not getting any more stimulation from the screen, like nothing's firing into your eyes, there's no change. So your occipital lobe thinks that there's nothing there and the image is gone. So give it, if you can't see that, give it a go.
Lots of people watching say it turns white.
Yeah.
And people, lots of people saying it turns white, that it disappears. Someone thought they saw the face of a baby, which I think is amazing. Christopher said they could see a picture, but most people, it's saying it goes white or it kind of blurs out. Great.
So that was, again, your occipital lobe, almost like not failing, but having a trick played on it. Okay.
Is it getting, I suppose I was going to say, is it getting tired? But I guess it's just, as you said, it's just that nothing's changing. So it kind of doesn't pick up any changes. Yeah,
that's it. So nothing's changing. So it thinks that there's nothing there. So it makes the image disappear.
I'm going to have to come back and watch this back and have a go at that one when it's full screen. All right. So that's the occipital lobe. Tricky to say these, aren't they?
Yeah.
Have you got one more or shall we move on to the final one?
We have got one more quick, one more optical illusion. So I want you to count the black dots.
It's impossible.
It is, isn't it? They just flash up.
Whenever I look at it, they run away from me.
Okay, so how many black dots can you see? Ooh, too many.
Quick question coming in from the live chat. A couple of people were asking this, actually. I've got Carrie, and I saw a couple of them earlier. People obviously remembering that when you see an image, it gets flipped upside down in your eye, at the back of your eye, at the retina. So is it down to the occipital lobe that flips it the right way up?
Yeah, so your occipital lobe does all the image processing for you. So it will take that role, and it's got a lot of roles in image processing as well as flipping images. It does simple things like tells you how big an object is or how fast it's moving. Like I've got these things here. There's a tiny object here from the lab, and then this massive one. And that's your occipital lobe that has just told you the different sizes. So it's not just flipping the object, but it's everything that we see it processes.
Wow. All right. So I think that was, so let's go on to the next one. It was Kerry who asked that question as well previously. So let's go on to the final part of the brain.
Okay. So the trick with this one was there's no black dots.
What?
Yeah, no black dots.
Oh, brain, you're doing a trick on me. How dare you?
Okay.
Oh, Alice got that right, by the way. Says in the live chat on Facebook. There are no black dots. Well done, Alice.
Oh, well done, Alice. You're too smart. Okay. The next one we are going to is an area of the brain which is here. So if we put our hands over our ears, that's it.
What? What are you saying?
That's not funny. Okay, so that area of the brain. And if we look at our brain hat here, we can see that it's at the side of our brain hat. And this is all involved in hearing and what we hear. All
right, so it is bits right next to your ears that are involved in hearing.
Yeah, so it makes sense, doesn't it? Okay,
yeah,
so it's involved in listening, recognizing speech, remembering sounds. So let's get a game going with this, shall we? So temporal lobe, are you ready?
Yes.
Can we have the video up, please?
Okay, so what are you hearing? What do you think we're listening to right now?
What was that? Sorry, I forgot to I forgot to describe the game before we went right into it. That was
I reckon that was the tiger.
The tiger? Okay, what do you think at home? What animal made that sound?
Because it sounded a lot like a cat. Oh, some people saying walrus.
Okay.
Lots of people saying tiger. Daniel says tiger. Lots and lots of people saying tiger. Someone says my stomach. Brilliant. What was it?
So what was it? We have the answer. It was the walrus. Well done if you got that right.
No way, it was the walrus. Quite a few people saying walrus actually. Michelle's gang and Becky's and Amanda's and oh gosh, so many people. These chats are coming in super fast. All right, sorry. Is there another one?
Okay, let's go for another one. So guess this sound. So what do we think it is?
Okay, so my first thought was a cow, but no, and it's not a duck. So I'm going to go. Was the middle one a camel?
The middle one was a camel. Yeah. So you're going to go with camel.
I'm going to go with camel, I think.
Okay, great. So let's see if you're right. What's the answer? Yes, it was the camel.
Woohoo!
Ooh, nice one.
Well done to Pippa, Alan, all sorts of people saying camel. Good job.
Nice. Okay, so final round. Can we guess the sound? Okay, so is it a pig, a dog, or a
Now, it's not a dog. I reckon the obvious answer is pig, but I don't know if you're tricking me and actually it's a hippo. I got no idea what sound a hippo makes.
Well, you've got to make a guess, I'm afraid.
Tilly says pig. Jacqueline and the team there says pig. I love the person who says that's my dad snoring. People said hippo, so thinking like me. Maxwell says pig. Zeke says hippo. Oh, they're kind of torn between hippo and pig. What's the answer?
Let's have a look. What's the answer? It's the pig.
Brilliant. So that is our temporal lobe, is it? Is that the one?
That's it, temporal lobe. Yep, so that's that done. So now we've gone all the way through the brain and now even round the sides. So that's it. Okay, we've got one area of the brain left.
Okay.
And this area is called the cerebellum, or is also known as the little brain. So this is the little brain because it hangs down the back of your head. So if everyone puts their hands on their neck again, and they move their hands up a little bit until they first feel the bony part of their skull. There, that's it. That's where your cerebellum would be. Yeah, that's perfect, Greg, just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an attachment that hangs on to the main part of our brain, and it basically looks like a cauliflower.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, and this area of the brain is the reason that you can balance on your bike, the reason that you can play football, the reason you can spin around without falling over, the reason you can, I don't know, touch your nose with your hand without looking. So should we try that?
So this is interesting because obviously we talked about the motor cortex doing bits of movement and then different things being to do with vision but there's this little brain that seems like it does a few of those bits kind of connected together.
Yeah, exactly. So this little brain is involved in coordinating our movement. So it makes it we all fit together.
Okay. All right. Okay. What can we do to test this one?
So we've got two little things. So everyone basically put your hands out like this. So cerebellum, are you ready? I want you to close your eyes and I want you to touch your finger with your nose with your eyes closed, each side, okay? So like this. That's it. Right, let's see if we can get quicker. So that's it. See how quick you can go.
You know what's a fun challenge, Jasmine, is to move your arms a bit as you do it as well.
Yeah. Go from different angles. Okay, so
I feel like I might be looking a bit silly, but I'm fine with it. All for science.
So it's the cerebellum that lets us do that and make sure that we don't put our finger in our eyes or even up our nose, because that wouldn't be very nice either.
And I think that is called proprioception.
Yes.
The sense called proprioception, to be able to know where things are, like in the middle of, like where your body, bits of your body are.
Space, yeah.
I didn't know that was down to the little brain, the cerebellum, that was kind of handling that.
Well, it is the cerebellum, and it is also your temporal lobe that we spoke about earlier. So it's important to know that even though I have touched on each part of the brains, they actually all work together to make us who we are and make us function as well. And
the motor cortex as well, of course, like moving it and that sort of thing. And you've worked your frontal lobe very hard because you've planned all these activities for us today. So
I have, yeah. So we've got one final activity, a balance one.
Okay.
Are you ready? So because your cerebellum is also involved in balance. So what I want everyone to do, if you can, is to get up, and I will want to know if you can balance on your leg for 30 seconds. Okay?
Okay. While we do this, I'm going to ask you one last question that I've just seen come in, because we should say goodbye very soon. I'm just going to, there's my other leg to prove that I'm balancing. No. So Pippa says, do all the parts of your brain improve with practice?
So are we balancing? Okay, let's see if we can, everyone can balance while I answer this question. So you can practice, well, you can improve different parts of your brain, but only to a certain degree. And to make your brain as healthy as possible, you need to make sure you have a healthy diet and you exercise and you socialize and you do lots of fun things like that. So that's the most important thing for making sure you've got a good brain.
It's 30 seconds up yet. I've got a tired leg.
Yeah, we can stop now. Well done, everyone.
Wow.
Ooh.
Jasmine, thank you so much. Was there anything else you wanted to try to squeeze in?
No, that's all from me.
That was absolutely awesome. I hope everyone watching this live and everyone watching back has very much enjoyed it. So that's all the time we have today. Indeed, it's a little bit extra time as well. I could chat to you all day, Jasmine, about the brain, and there were so many more questions coming in as well. Big thank you to you if you are watching live. Great questions coming in, great comments. Good job. Nice one if you're watching this back afterwards as well. Now, today I was chatting to Jasmine Harley, a PhD student at the Francis Crick Institute from the Parietal lab in the Francis Crick Institute. Thank you, Jasmine, for exercising all the different parts of our brains. I don't know about everyone watching, but I feel thoroughly warmed up and ready for my busy day. Now, the Crick is trying out a bunch of new things online this summer, so we'd love your feedback. All right, there's going to be a link that comes up to in the live chat to a short questionnaire. If you could jump on that short questionnaire and just answer a couple of questions, that would be super helpful. Let us know what you thought of this today. And to entice you to do so, to encourage you to do so, it will enter you as well to an Amazon gift card prize draw as well. So the link will be popping up in the live chat on YouTube and Facebook. We've got one more of these live streamed events happening when I will be chatting to a virus expert, Aaron, from the Crick, about what it's like working with viruses all day. That is in 2 weeks' time. That's the 27th of August at 10:30. So do come on over and join us for that one. In the meantime, if you'd like to learn more about how your vision works, we talked about it a little bit today, but if you'd like to learn more about that, then head on over to the Crick's Family Zone pages to meet Crick scientist and eye doctor Maria. There's loads of stuff going on over there, so go and have a look. I think we should say goodbye to everyone who's watching live, and I should say thank you so much to you, Jasmine, for joining me this morning. That was awesome fun.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks.
And we'll say goodbye, and hopefully I'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we chat to virus expert Aaron. Have a lovely day. Bye.